Hello, wellness warriors. I hope you're doing good today. Thank you for joining us for another video. Don't forget to subscribe. We are at 155 subscribers. Say what? I know, it's pretty awesome. Super magical. 155. Who would have thought? Like, I didn't. I remember thinking, if I can get to 50, I'm totally cool. Like, it's gonna be awesome. 155. I am so grateful. So thank you. Okay, so today I want to talk about PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And I want to talk about this because I have PMDD. I got it after having my first child. I had never had symptoms. I mean, I would have PMS. So I would have, premenstrual mood disorder, whatever. However, after I had my and it was like mild, like I never suffered from like bad PMS. And then I had my child, and 8 months later, I began to suffer from PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. However, I was not aware what was going on. I just had these really intense symptoms, and it was really scary and just really hard. That my life changed after that forever. And I recognized it about 2-3 months in because I'm a therapist, and so I was like, oh, I know this, what's happening. This is like PMDD. So it's like, think of it as PMS, but like literally 100 times worse. And I was able to diagnose myself, and I went to my therapist and we talked about it, and I talked to my midwife, and I'm so grateful that I have amazing midwives who believed me and did not invalidate my experience. Because let me tell you, many women go to the doctors, and I quote, the doctors say things like, well, that's part of being a woman. And let me tell you, that is not true. And I'm doing the video not only because I have it and it changed my life, but because then I started recognizing it in many of my female clients. And they were like, I don't know what's happening. And so I'm going to read some of them, like the main, experiences that comes with PMDD. And they usually start, so mine start 2 weeks before my cycle. And many of my clients are either 2 weeks or a week before. And mine, and as soon as my cycle starts, so as soon as my period starts, my what's it called? Oh my goodness, I can't even think. So like all the things that I go through, the symptoms stop. For many women that I've spoken with is until their period is over, but they usually start a week or two before. Everybody's different, but it is a lot of women going through this, and it really was eye-opening to me as I started hearing their experience. And once I brought PMDD up, they were like, what? And so then I would do the PMDD quiz, and they answered yes to everything. So some of the things are like either a week or 2 weeks before you get your period, you get into a depressed mood. You have anger or irritability, trouble concentrating. There's a lack of interest in activities you usually enjoy, moodiness, but not like your regular moodiness. Like it's a little bit more intense. You have increased appetite, so you find yourself eating more, insomnia or feeling super sleepy, and feeling overwhelmed. I remember when I first noticed it, my body was just super heavy. And I teach Zumba, and on those days, I remember it like my body hurt, like it was hard to walk. And my husband was like, what is wrong with you? And so I have this like 9-month-old baby. My body was just so heavy. But in the beginning, I remember thinking, well, I must be like super tired, right? But eventually I really started to realize something just wasn't right. And you know when something is up, even if you cannot put words into it. So I feel like me having it has the good thing that has come out is that I get my clients, because when they share the experience, even though they can't put it into words, I get it. And even when they're like, something is wrong, but I can't like say it or describe it as I would. And then when I take out the quiz and I like tell them, they're like, oh my gosh, yes. I'm like, yeah. And so, so the muscles hurt. Sometimes like your pelvis can be in pain. You have this sadness and you don't know what is wrong. And that can be like a day or two of that week or 2 weeks. Usually the day before my period would start, I mean, this like overwhelming sadness would just take over. A lot of women get suicidal and it's just like this, they have this suicidal ideation and it just kind of lingers. This anger, I remember like this irritability was it just takes over, and I could control it, but it would affect me. Like my spirit was so angry that the irritability was just beyond me. Some women get panic attacks. They have this panic and this fear, and so they feel like they cannot control themselves. This hopelessness can also take over. I would also get that. This hopelessness that nothing is right, nothing is ever going to be right. Just in a very dark place. Crying, lots of crying, or maybe that sadness, but you cannot cry. Feeling extremely overwhelmed, and it can be things like just having to do the dishes, or just economic things that might be bothering you, and then they are just exacerbated in those moments. Very critical, very judgmental about yourself, lots of shaming thoughts. And so those are some of the things that happen, and then all of a sudden you're fine. Like it's like, oh, like I'm feeling okay. But in the meantime, that tension, anxiety, irritability, that difficulty concentrating, that exhaustion, for that week or 2 weeks out of the month is very real. So I just wanted to put it out there that you're not crazy. This is something that a lot of women go through, is misdiagnosed or undiagnosed. There is treatment, so speak with your provider. Find someone who does believe you. I'm so lucky that my midwife was on it, that she believed me. There's birth control, there's antidepressants for it. There's ways to make it better, which means you have to hydrate a lot on those days. Cut caffeine. I know. I was like, what? But cutting caffeine helps a lot. Engaging in exercise is huge. So going outside and engaging in exercise is super helpful. I'm trying to think of what I've done. So yeah, birth control helps. Antidepressants definitely can help. Making sure you're good with your vitamins, that you're not low on things like vitamin D. It's also important to make sure that you're eating healthy and that you're getting sunlight. So those things are super helpful. So again, speak with someone, go with your doctor. If you find that you were invalidated, find someone else. This is real. Make sure that you are getting exercise, drinking water, that you're processing your feelings, go to therapy. Like I remember when I would have my therapy fall on those 2 weeks, and I would go those 2 weeks because it was super helpful for me. And I, just getting exercise and being kind to yourself, giving yourself grace, and taking naps if at all possible, or going to bed early, making sure that you don't shame yourself for resting, because it's needed. Just listen to your body, but hydrate, eat as healthy as you can, get your greens in, take your vitamins, make sure you sleep, process your feelings, be kind to yourself, and do things that uplift your mood. And sometimes literally there are certain days where you just have to ride the wave and diminish that caffeine intake. That is it. If you have more questions, definitely you can always reach out, ask them. I always say go to your doctor, please. Go to your provider, and you can definitely take the PMDD quiz. There's several on Google. So, all right, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you know anybody who could use this video, make sure to forward it and share it. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.